What's new in the Dead Space Remake? If you are curious about what makes the Dead Space Remake stand out, you are in for a treat. The remake, released in 2023, revitalizes the classic 2008 survival horror game while keeping its core story intact. Let's break down the exciting new features and changes that set this remake apart. First off, the visuals and audio have received a major upgrade. The game is built using the Frostbite engine, which means the graphics and sound design are significantly improved. The USG Ishimura and its terrifying enemies come to life with stunning detail, making it a feast for the eyes and ears. Fans of the original game from the 2000s will appreciate this modern touch while still feeling the nostalgia. Next, we have the Intensity Director system. This new mechanic changes how enemies appear and how the environment reacts, creating a more dynamic experience. Instead of predictable enemy spawns, players face randomized events that keep the tension high. Imagine being trapped in a tram with enemies lurking nearby. It adds a whole new layer of excitement. Another significant change is the seamless exploration. Unlike the original, which had loading screens between areas, the remake allows players to move through the ship without interruptions. Loading screens only appear when you die or load a save, making the experience feel more immersive. The story has also been expanded. Characters are more developed, and there is more dialogue throughout the game. The protagonist now interacts with others, making him feel more relatable. Secondary characters have larger roles, and holographic logs provide extra context about the events on the Ishimura. New gameplay mechanics are also introduced. The peeling system allows players to track damage on enemies visually. You can remove layers of flesh until you see bone, which helps you gauge how much damage you have done. This is especially useful on higher difficulty levels. Zero-gravity sections have been redefined too. Players can now use thrusters to navigate freely, making these sequences more engaging. Circuit breakers have been added as a new way to reroute power, introducing puzzle elements that require strategic thinking. Level design has been reworked as well. Some areas are redesigned to increase exploration and danger. For instance, the mining deck now has new hazards that make encounters with enemies more intense. The routes players take have been altered to encourage thorough exploration instead of simple backtracking. Lastly, enemy artificial intelligence has improved. Enemies react more dynamically, and the new peeling mechanic adds depth to combat. You can leave enemies injured, which affects how fights play out. From a 2000s nostalgia perspective, the remake respects the original's blend of sci-fi horror and survival gameplay. It retains the core themes that made the original Dead Space a standout title while updating the mechanics, story depth, and visuals for modern audiences. This balance allows longtime fans to revisit the USG Ishimura with a fresh yet familiar sense of dread, while new players can experience the tense atmosphere that made the original a cult classic.